Listen carefully. The truth can no longer be silenced. What was prepared behind closed doors is now being revealed under the bright fluorescent lights of a medical ward. The person who conspired against you is now in a hospital bed. The universe has spoken, and their body is falling apart as fast as their web of lies. This isn't a coincidence. It's divine intervention. The hospital bed has become their seat of judgment, with the IV drip marking time acting as a cosmic countdown. Their lips, which were previously covered in dishonesty, are now disclosing every single aspect of their behavior, including every plot, co-conspiracy, and effort to avert your destiny. Avoid being duped. There is no way to escape this karma. The cosmos has made its choice, and the punishment is being carried out precisely. Their whole house of cards will fall because of this confession made in a hospital bed. And the worst punishments are now being meted out to those who thought they could tamper with your journey. This doom was always in store for anyone who opposed you. As they come clean, panic breaks out in their network like wildfire. Cell phones are inundated with desperate messages, and secret meetings are arranged to undo the damage the failing scheme has created. The confession from that hospital bed reveals the falsehoods that underlie their whole plan, shattering well-constructed alibis. Their monument of dishonesty crumbles floor by floor, swallowing them up beneath its weight. They believed their unity against you was unbreakable, so watch now as they devour each other. Former collaborators flee like roaches when light shines into their shadows. Some people pack their suitcases hastily in the hopes that distance would save them. Others rush to eliminate evidence, failing to understand that physical proof is not necessary for the cosmic ledger. In an attempt to negotiate better terms by testifying against others, the most astute ones already contact lawyers. The weight of justice's approaching footfall causes the weakest among them to completely crumble. Now they can't get away with anything. Divine time determines the exact motions of the authorities, no matter how far away they are. Surveillance activities keep an eye on every desperate action. Warrants are prepared and documentation is produced. The wheels of human justice and cosmic consequence are now correctly in line. The hospital confession provides the last information required to ensure complete accountability: names, dates, places, and account numbers. Know where to hide or run to. Karma has an effect on everyone. As death approached, the person in the hospital bed made desperate attempts, called in favors, transferred funds, and concocted tales to protect their name, even as illness took control. They were all useless today. Their legacy becomes a cautionary tale about the repercussions of defying divine will. As a reminder of the price of such arrogance, their name will be muttered. You are impenetrable because of divine protection, regardless of what is happening around you. Your security was always guaranteed. Physical bounds do not apply to the soldiers standing up to guard your path, and every effort to breach your perimeter was met with spectacular failure and heightened assaults in retaliation. Their frustration at not being able to contact you accelerated their death. Each new endeavor buried them more, and each conspiracy solidified their fate. In a desperate attempt to understand, some individuals are still reaching out to you. False identities, disguises, and efforts to approach via allegedly shared links are examples of desperate techniques that show a complete lack of reality awareness. Every action is captured, and every step is observed. They act as if they are free to move about in a tight cage. The authorities provide just enough room for complete self-incrimination. Even deranged people believe that escape is possible. No, it wasn't. Mortals cannot interpret the ledgers that contain your name. Furthermore, the divine decoding in your blueprint is impossible for anyone who wants to harm you to decode. You are surrounded by unbreakable, unflinching protection. It is not limited to the physical world. Sometimes, at calm moments, you feel this. The invisible wall that protects you from chaotic influences that may otherwise have an impact on your life. The confession continues hour after hour, while the physical form on the hospital bed deteriorates. It is difficult for nurses to understand how someone who is so physically disabled may yet speak with such intensity. Those who are spiritually awakened see what the medical professionals call terminal lucidity, the soul's urgent unburdening before passage. Everything that was planned against you, including all of the deceit, manipulation, and malevolent purpose, is covered in the words that come naturally. The advent of reality is signaled by the finality of flatline displays. You're not just here. Feel the pull. Press. Join to discover purpose, truth, and a community that understands it. This goes beyond just being a member. You're meant to do this. The conspirators never understood your true character. The intricacies of your spiritual bond were never visible to them. The surface reflection was all they could see. The invisible forces operating inside you were unknown to them. They thereby made plans in opposition to what they could see. They were unaware of your celestial backing. They depended on material resources for their chances. They based their tactics on human limitations. You work outside of them, however. Their greatest error was assuming you were walking alone. Cosmic law demanded this outcome. That hospital bed becomes nothing more than the external manifestation of an accounting that began the instant they chose darkness over light. As soon as they set out to hurt you, they were unaware that what they had done was spiritual death. So they aimed their weapons toward a divinely appointed target. The universe just allowed the effects to materialize in the world. Although spiritual law remains unchanged for eternity, the confession notifies authorities who had doubts about many of the now confirmed facts. Over the course of many months, bits of evidence gradually collected, including financial records that showed strange tendencies, conversations that were intercepted via lawful means, and witnesses who came forward as the conspiracy started to unravel. The hospital confession, which transforms severe suspicion into knowledge that may be used, provides final confirmation. The possibility of the lawsuit being dismissed is zero. Be aware that charges are being developed, arrests are being prepared, and raids are imminent. Growing concern causes those who are still scheming to make important blunders. They believe they are brilliant. Therefore, they utilize coded language and encrypted conversations. They gather in locations they think are secure, unaware that recording devices are documenting every discussion. Whispering about silencing the hospital confessor, they are unaware that such chats ensure their own death. Their foolish pride prevented them from seeing the spiritual seriousness of their transgression. They choose you as their target without understanding your spiritual significance. They saw opportunity where they should have seen warning signs. A location of total security seemed vulnerable to them. They did not perceive complete cosmic assistance, but they were conscious of their physical isolation. They saw your human limits, but they failed to see your divine connection. Their failure to understand why their assaults kept failing. Their annoyance at the closing of doors that ought to have remained open. They were perplexed when allies suddenly and mysteriously stopped supporting them. Their incredulity after attempting to hurt you and experiencing bodily effects. The hospital confession also reveals their increasing worry as the number of coincidences amassed beyond statistical likelihood. When they began to see trends, it was too late to change course. They ignored the universe's warnings, which included minor health issues following each attempt, financial setbacks that corresponded with attacks on your resources, relationship breakdowns following an attempt to isolate you, dreams full of symbols that they ignored upon waking up, and intuitions that they rationalized away. The cosmos always warns before imposing full consequences. Therefore, their choice to ignore these warnings sealed their destiny. The energy that permeates the hospital room is inaudible to the majority of individuals. Anyone who saw this accounting around the confession Spiritual presences gather. Unknown fluctuations are recorded by the monitoring systems, and the room temperature drops without explanation. Pressure changes cause tingling sensations on the skin and ear explosions in sensitive persons. The curtain thins as cosmic forces ensure that this testimony is full, regardless of any physical restrictions. This confession will be made regardless of how badly the body deteriorates. The invisible forces that defend the chamber include spiritual guardians, karmic accountants, and ancestral witnesses. The dying person sees them now, together with the physicians, nurses, authorities, and the dying confessor with the enhanced eyesight that sometimes comes with death. Their eyes widen, their pulse quickens, and their words grow more intense as they become aware of the actual nature of the audience to whom they are confessing. This admission obviously violates cosmic law and beyond human authority. Nothing is omitted from this accounting. Names, dates, places, bank accounts, identities stolen, papers fabricated, hidden motives, or statements spoken without any restraint or mitigation are all examples of information that is not kept secret. All of the things that have been done to you are exposed. The cosmic ledger must be as transparent as possible. This kind of spiritual debt cannot be made up for with partial knowledge. The impact extends beyond the hospital setting. In homes where accomplices believe they were secure, doors are banged on and phones ring as authorities show up with questions that pierce skillful lying. Computers are confiscated, accounts are halted, and passports are flagged. The architecture of the conspiracy falls apart with astonishing rapidity, as if it were being demolished by invisible hands. A hierarchy of culpability is not recognized by cosmic justice, as some who considered themselves minor actors discover. Their astonishment reveals how disconnected they are from spiritual reality. The conspirators were able to overcome the human construct of responsibility being optional by having sufficient money and contacts. They did not see accountability as a universal constant existing independently of human institutions. Ignorance of spirituality did not exempt people from cosmic law. The ultimate power of spiritual truth over physical experience was not diminished by rejection, and the repercussions of believing in higher consequences were not eliminated either. The time is right for the reckoning to occur. Some conspirators provide information in exchange for leniency in an attempt to come to an accord. Others plead ignorance, saying they don't fully understand the depth. Some place the blame on suspected ringleaders and describe culpability. And despite the overwhelming proof, some people still insist they are innocent. Even the most gullible individuals still believe that having money or power would allow them to escape what is about to happen. Don't keep it to yourself if God's kindness has touched you. In order to assist spread His light, click Super Thank You and donate $20 or more. His kingdom is being built and souls are being blessed as a result of your generosity. Allow His excess to seep into you. They have no idea what they are up against. Human consequences just help to emphasize the spiritual accounting that is already occurring. Inexplicably constant bodily problems are experienced by conspiracy members. They abruptly aggravate chronic illnesses, lose their appetite, and lack energy for no apparent cause. Despite taking medicine, they are unable to sleep, and the severity of their new diagnosis is shocking. Their internal spiritual decay is exposed when their physical form more and more resembles energy reality. Medicine offers temporary relief, but no long-term solution. This association was originally identified by the hospital confessor. They were given their fatal prognosis after they committed a particularly horrible deed against you. They were unable to disregard the message in the time. The details of their illness metaphorically corresponded to their sins, and progress accelerated with each opportunity for truth that was ignored. As a consequence of their choices, the body became a physical manifestation of spiritual disease, forcing them to face their metamorphosis. When the gentler messages are ignored, pain is how truth arrives. For instance, the universe always begins with whispers, as shown by synchronicities, symbolic dreams, and intuitive clues. Ignoring relationship mirrors that reflect behavior patterns, health issues following bad behavior, and accidental incidences with clear message all increase the loudness. When severe health crises, catastrophic losses, and complete system collapse are also ignored, it becomes difficult to ignore the message. When the hospital confessor reaches the last degree of touch, their body practically vanishes as spiritual debt swallows physical form. As you view this from a safe distance, you are completely shielded from the mayhem that is unfolding. Even when they launch their most concentrated strikes, when they were at their most numerous, or when they used their most successful tactics, your shield remained unwavering. Your protection was constant throughout, even though you likely experienced the consequences of their attempts: energy fluctuations, unanticipated fatigue, and momentary emotional turmoil. These represented the fact that your shield might absorb what was directed at you instead, then letting it pass through. Your spiritual team stepped in and stopped everything. You pressed on while they planned. You got up as they plotted. You grew in the light while others languished in the dark. The energy they used attempting to obstruct your path fueled your growth by bringing about change. Their assaults inadvertently highlighted your strengths, clarified your course, and confirmed your significance. Their opposition became the unintentional catalyst for your ascent. In the cosmos, nothing is wasted. Light grows even in the midst of darkness. The perfection that those with spiritual understanding perceive in this developing situation includes the hospital confession, the collapsing conspiracy, the imminent legal consequences, the physical manifestations of spiritual corruption, the timing of revelations, the accuracy of justice, and the preservation of your path throughout. Cosmic choreography that surpasses human orchestration is shown by the whole circumstance. Results could not be arranged with such lyrical precision by any human intelligence. Your complete vindication in the visible and unseen worlds is almost here. Those who saw your struggles without sensing your protection will soon understand the factors at play in your experience. Your senses will be absolutely verified by those who tested them. The cosmic affirmation of their intuitive senses will provide joy to those who stood with you despite appearances. Your judgment was flawless throughout this chapter. Beneath the nice displays, you might feel ulterior motives. You saw differences in energy that others did not. Others called you paranoid for upholding limits. You saw assaults that others wrote off as chance or accident, and you distanced yourself from relationships that were incongruous, even if they seemed to be appealing. Your spiritual sensitivity was an essential compass. All of your gut feelings are confirmed by the hospital confession. Every person whose vitality looked polluted, every situation that triggered inner alarms, every connection that seemed to sap vitality, and every opportunity that seemed good but was really driven by hidden motives. Your internal radar worked well, but external confirmations sometimes lagged behind your evaluation. Continue to have total trust in this system. You are at a tipping point when this scenario is settled. The plan against you is exposed by confession and repercussions, and the path ahead is free of the challenges that formerly had to be surmounted. The energy that was previously utilized for protection may now be employed for acceleration. Your forward-moving troops shift from a defensive to an expanding posture. Unprecedented development awaits you beyond this clearing. The hospital confessor, who before did not recognize your name, now pronounces it differently. They only see you clearly when physical life starts to ebb, at which point they realize too late what they were fighting against. They are now aware of the cosmic shield that surrounds your mission. They understand the forces at play inside you and recognize your spiritual worth. This admiration just helps to confirm their grave error of judgment. It brings no comfort. The authorities who are recording this confession cannot understand its spiritual dimensions. They record facts relevant to human justice without recognizing the cosmic principles at work, unwittingly serving as instruments for increased responsibility. They follow the law while constructing their cases. They follow procedural guidelines that, for some reason, align with the best moment to have the most effect. This process enables several facets of justice to function concurrently. The attacks take place in many areas at exactly the same time of dawn. Evidence that goes beyond what the confession revealed includes financial records, contact logs, taped meetings, money transfers, forged papers, recorded threats, and physical evidence that clearly connects each alleged conspirator to the scheme. The cosmic poetry they convey when knowledge dawns is priceless. Demand attorneys with an outraged sense of impending freedom are the most naive. Others make an effort to haggle, frantically providing names and details. Others get furious, exposing the genuine self that was previously hidden beneath social facades, and some people suddenly crumble, their power dissipating as truth breaks through denial. The forces operating outside of the authority in front of them are incomprehensible to everyone. Justice has cosmic power in this instance, but it also has a human face. The headlines expose the plot. Names are released without any safeguards. Black and white are used to list charges. Potential punishments are calculated by legal specialists. Investigative reporters piece together the past. Additionally, a pattern among previously unconnected occurrences is found. Several channels broadcast the news at the same time. The public record cannot be removed since it has been established irreversibly. This permanent record acts as a crystallization of their heritage. Overnight, business relationships deteriorate. Social invitations disappear. Applications for membership are suddenly rejected.